Hi, I'm Steve Wylie. I'm here at the Enterprise 2 social event here in Boston, and I'm joined by Michael Wu, who is Principal Scientist of Data at Lithium Technologies. Michael, you just wrapped up your keynote address here at the E2 conference. First of all, great job on the talk that you gave.
Thank you.
You did sort of an interesting keynote here in that you actually conducted a live experiment with the audience in real time during the event, which was pretty cool. I wonder if you could just describe briefly what was the main point of the exercise and what did you take away from it?
I think the main point is to educate the audience that there is this really powerful analysis called social network analysis out there. And a lot of people think of social network analysis is just network mapping, it's just pretty pictures, but it's actually about specifying the relationship that you care about, computing metrics, and interpreting the graph, and interpreting the metrics to understand the network. So I think the big takeaway I wanted to the audience to take away is that I want them to know that actually there's one social network in your life, there's one social network in everybody's life, but you can actually construct many, many social graphs out of it. And there's actually many different types of metric that you could compute on each one of those social graphs to characterize, for example, how people influence each other, how people collaborate with each other, how people communicate with each other, all that.
And that's obviously something that's very important for organizations to understand as well, and how to really leverage that. And I think clearly one takeaway I had from your talk is that data is the new frontier for businesses, right? And I wonder, as you're out there talking to customers and other people in the industry, how equipped are businesses to really take advantage of that? What needs to take place organizationally and as far as skills within the organization to really embrace data and understanding how we apply that data analysis to making actual business decisions?
Yeah, so my personal take, is that most organizations are not really ready to take on this frontier. And part of it is because most of the analytics out there is really just counting. They are what we call descriptive analytics. It's basically a count of something, and then they may do some simple arithmetic, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and then percentages, sums, and averages. Pretty much that's it. And then what they don't do is what I call predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So, and actionable analytics. So those are actually three classes. So actually the actionable analytics is the one that I tend to focus on a lot, because I believe that it's good to be predictive, but you can be predictive, but telling you the world's going to end tomorrow, but then if you can't take action to change the course of that, then it's pretty much useless.
Right.
So I would say that the industry as a whole is still pretty young. There are a lot of I would say machine learning and statistics that's being done in academia. I think that will slowly translate to workforces that will enter the industry, but I think that will take time.
We're hearing a lot about big data, right, as a technology, and I wonder if you could describe, how does the world that you're describing of social analytics, where does that play with things like big data?
So big data is really the foundation of all this, because we need to have the big data technology to track all the activity and all the action that a user perform on whichever social channel they choose to, right? And after we have that track and store somewhere, we need to be able to search and filter it to isolate the pieces that we need, and then we could do social analytics to get at the question that we want to answer. For example, who interacted with who collaborated with who influenced who, and you could do even more sophisticated things such as sentiment, right? And who likes you, who doesn't like you, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that is all built upon the foundation of having the big data infrastructure in place.
It's enabling these large volumes of data that we can extract from and analyze and make some better
so
decision
basically
out of.
the big data is basically the foundation that store and query the data that you need, and then analytics is the pieces that actually apply analysis on the data to extract information and insights.
Okay, that's great. And I wonder, if you could describe, we're here at the E2 social event, the largest gathering for the enterprise social software market around the world. What would you say is the biggest kind of challenge that they're likely to come up against, and what would be your advice for them?
I think the challenge is more comes down to, do you actually learn, will people actually learn to trust the data? Sometimes people will do some analysis, and it happens sometimes in my work. I will do analysis, and then some people say, I don't quite believe that, but I say, hey, that's what the data shows you.
Right.
So, I could go back and run an analysis a different way, and then, of course, there's some iteration. But if the data is really strong and prove statistically significant one way, will organization be ready to believe that and actually alter their course of action based on data alone rather than just their gut feeling?
So we need to celebrate our data scientists and really kind of take what they're identifying and put it to practice in business.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a great place for us to wrap things up. David or Michael, again, thanks for the great talk today at the conference, and have a great week here.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. My pleasure.